Hello everyone and welcome to another Mythic Dungeon Guide, today for Darkheart Thicket. Now as always with the trash, make sure you face them away from the group, don't stand on any fire, and dispel what you need to. Boss number 1. Now along with all the regular abilities we see, he does have some additional abilities in Mythic. Now, the big thing is you want to make sure he faces away from the group. He does do Primal Rampage, which knocks you back and charges forward. So as a tank, make sure you face him away from the group, or else that charge will go through the group and damage everyone. In addition to that, now the Nightfall pools that spawn are actually spawned by these creatures that fixate on someone and run to them. So if you see that one of these little creatures is running to you, make sure you don't spread that Nightfall around everywhere and just get all of your DPS killed. So try to be wary of where you place that. If you are DPS, just DPS those targets down. That's really it for this boss. Keep him faced away from the group, kill those ads. Also just try not to step in the Nightfall in general. No matter where it ends up, try to move the boss around so that none of that gets on everyone. Alright, boss number 2, Oakheart. Now he does have differences. Now here we see Strangling Roots, which is the same thing as before, which will just come up and grasp you. However, if you do not get rid of the Strangling Roots, they will eventually become ads that need to be tanked and DPS down. So you'll see here with my group, we don't target the roots at all. We let them become ads and then I pick them up as they come up. If your DPS is a little bit slow, this can be an issue because you will be overrun with ads. You see here, some of these do start turning into the ads. I do pick them up. So you can have one of your DPS or multiple DPS try to focus down the Strangling Roots. You can have something like a Hunter just quick tab and try to focus them down. Or you can just try to burn down the boss, maybe pop hero or something like that. Either way, this boss isn't the most difficult. This crushing grip on your tank is definitely one of the hardest mechanics. You do need to heal your tank a lot when that happens. Your tank should also pop a defensive cooldown with that. In addition to that, he does do his breath, Nightmare Breath, that you should have him faced away from the group. And you should pop a defensive cooldown when he does that. Here we have another crushing grip. You need to overheal the tank. And right after that crushing grip, we get a few more ads. You know, stack on the tank, let him pick those up. Or stack within melee range. Now here we have the next boss. You definitely want to tank this boss right in the middle, just because you don't want to get any whelps in Mythic mode. Now the problem is, in Mythic mode, these whelps will blow up when they are killed. So the more whelps that spawn, the higher probability of your tank dying. Or not even necessarily your tank, of just someone dying. So make sure you don't get any of the whelps. Besides that, we have the regular mechanics of Breath of Corruption, which you do need to dodge as a tank. Make sure you face the boss away from the group so that that breath doesn't hit everyone. And then you also have the earth-shaking roar, which makes rocks fall from the sky. You can see that very clearly on the ground. Don't stand in that. That hurts a lot. The biggest thing to worry about in Mythic mode is the fact that the whelps do spawn. So you do want to try to place the boss somewhere near the middle so that everyone has plenty of space all around them, just so that he's not pushed right up against some eggs and you do get those ads. Now if you do get ads, try to DPS them down, slowly and at different intervals. If you cannot, then you have to pop some defensive cooldowns and overheal your tank immediately, because that AoE explosion is no joke. Here we have another downdraft. You see that even my healer shaman in the back goes Ghost Wolf form to make sure that he doesn't run back into any of these adds. Now here we have the last boss. The biggest difference is he does do another targeted ability, which makes it so that you need to have someone in this AoE area with you. You'll see it right here, this Nightmare Bolt. You see that DPSer running to the left? He needs someone to be inside of that AoE with him. Now, this time around, the DPSers did run away from everyone, so we weren't able to completely do that mechanic how it should be done. But basically, if you don't run in there with them, then they will be silenced. So here we have another Nightmare Bolt. Two people need to pair up together right on this DPSer. Here we have Feed the Weak. Basically what happens with that is the healer needs to overheal that person that's being targeted. The other abilities are all these giant vortexes on the ground. Now Xavius himself does get hit by these vortexes. It actually buffs him. So you need to try to avoid them yourself and try to avoid them for the boss as well. The only other mechanic in this is that Nightfall mechanic, where Nightfall will spawn out of someone and you don't want to run into that. You will get feared. So if you're melee heavy, please be very careful, and also melee DPS have to be careful as to not fear the tank. So here we have Waking Nightmare. You see my healer run in with everyone so that he can keep casting and keep healing. And that's basically it, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.